StepStone Family and Youth Services aims to strengthen homes and support families. They do this by connecting children and youth with homes of families who care enough to give them a good home. And that's all through foster care. And joining me today is Eric Westrick, who is the recruiter and licensing coordinator. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Good, thank you.
Yes, so foster care, man, it's just something that is so needed.
Yes.
Especially in this state because there's a staggering rate of kids in foster care. First, share that stat.
So on in.gov, they're reporting there's over 31,000 children in foster care right now in our state. Mm-hmm. Indiana ranks fourth highest for the amount of children in foster care. Mm-hmm. And we also have we're twice as likely of having a child abuse over the national average.
That is it's staggering. It's just staggering because that means that there needs to be programs like you all to help get these kids in the proper homes. And so, but what I love is your story. So you work for StepStone now, but you started off as a foster parent.
I did.
So give me some background.
Yeah, I was a foster parent for about 6 years. Mm-hmm. Had about 30 children in my home over those 6 years, and then was able to adopt my 2 children through the Foster to Adopt with StepStone's help.
Gosh.
Yes.
That is so great. So out of all the kids, was it hard to make that decision?
It was. You always want to give every child deserves a loving home. Mm-hmm. And during that season with the children being in my home, I always provided the love, stability, and helped in the healing process through the trauma that they have endured.
Yeah. And I know that because it's like, wow, 30 plus kids over a 6-year period, you were actually kind of like an emergency care, right? And kind of like a rescue mission.
Yeah. So I did emergency placements. I also did long-term and short-term placements as well.
Yeah. And so tell me, how old were your kids when you adopted them, and how old are they now?
My daughter was placed with me at 9 months, and she just turned 5 March 2nd. Wow. And then my son was a little less than 3, and he will be 9 in November.
Wow. And so just from your personal experience, how has that journey been for you, being a foster parent and then crossing over to being able to adopt?
Sure. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
I think just the amount of growth that you see within the children children are very resilient. And with the support, children can rebound with the positive childhood experiences.
Yeah, and so now you've crossed over and have become a recruiter for this organization, which is great. So tell me about the steps of recruiting new foster parents and what you really look for.
Sure, we're looking for those quality homes that are going to provide the love and compassion that these foster youth need. The licensing process, we're going to do 5 background checks, and that includes the fingerprints. We will do the financial verification, and then the primary physician will sign off about your medical history. Okay. There's some pre-service training classes that we'll do with you, but your licensing worker is with you throughout the entire process.
Okay, that's great. And do you know the typical rate of parents who start off fostering and then cross over to adopt?
It's about 13% is what we're seeing within the state of Indiana, that around 58% of children are reunified with their biological family. Okay. So the Department of Child Services provides a treatment plan or parenting classes, and the biological families will follow that. Foster parents, we are a great resource to encourage that reunification with the biological families.
Oh, yeah, and you make such a great point with that, because that is the goal, right? To get the kids back at home if it's safe and appropriate.
Correct.
But if not, then you provide the resources. So I love that. Reunification, fostering, and then if not, the adoption process. And so what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to becoming a foster parent or being a part of this process?
I think the common misconception is a lot of times when I was fostering, I heard, how can you foster knowing reunification is the primary goal? And how do you deal with that? Yeah. And yes, there is emotional connection with these children, but I really think for that season that the children are in your care, it's the giving, the pouring into them, really making that impactful impression so they have, the correct direction to go within their life.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that this organization provides a lot of resources, including training. So tell me about some of the training programs.
So we'll do the pre-service trainings, and then all of our foster homes are therapeutic. So they do the trauma-informed care trainings and so on. And then each month we hold a monthly town hall and we'll have different topics that our foster parents can get on. And then once a week we'll have an open forum. So if someone is interested in becoming a foster parent, they can hop on those Wednesday night forums as well.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Just to learn more and create that open communication.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's one of the great things about StepStone is we're always there for you. You will be assigned a case manager. You can reach out to your licensing manager. You can get a hold of the program director. We're kind of, that stability and the support system.
Yes. And tell me a little bit about your residential services.
So the residential, we're community-based, so we will do the visitation, supervised visitation, and then those documents will be provided to the Department of Child Services as well.
Okay, wonderful. And if there is a parent that's watching or an adult that's watching and they're thinking, should I consider being a foster parent or not? What words of encouragement would you give?
Dive in, learn as much as you can. I think we hold a saying at StepStone, one step can change a life. And that is so true. Whether you see the direct impact or you may never see the impact, we are bettering lives. Foster parents are making huge differences. May is Foster Parent Appreciation Month. And so we celebrate our foster parents because they give tirelessly.
Yeah, well, that's so great. Well, congratulations to you and your family, Eric.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing your journey. That's really cool.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And if you would like more information about StepStone Family and Youth Services, we'll actually have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break.